Before I start the video, I must state that some of this information may be speculative, and if I get anything wrong then call me out on it in the comments and I will amend them in future episodes. Thanks. So this is where the first Portal game begins. Going from the information provided in the last episode, the Combine were likely around when the events of Portal took place. As said, Ratman changed the system so that Chell would be the next test subject, and this is where we begin our story. Chell wakes up from a stasis bed and is introduced to GLaDOS. GLaDOS puts her through a series of tests, and over the course of the game you realise that, hey, GLaDOS wants me dead. GLaDOS attempts to murder you by a fire pit and you escape into the back area of the Aperture. You fight your way through and eventually meet GLaDOS herself, where you kill her and escape the facility, only to be dragged back in by a party escort bot, and the game ends. Chell as a character is one we don't know a lot about. We know that she was the daughter of an Aperture employee and has a strong amount of stubbornness to her, but her history is still hidden. I mentioned in an earlier episode that she might be the one in the image behind Cave Johnson and Caroline. I already spoke about how similar GLaDOS and Caroline were, but now I need to talk about Cave Johnson and Chell. Caroline described Cave as passionate, determined and aggressive. When Doug Ratman broke into the file room and swapped Chell out to be the next subject, it was because Chell was described as abnormally stubborn, a trait she would likely pick up from her father. Player speculation has stated that she doesn't say a word because she is angry at GLaDOS and what she has done, but I don't believe anybody has confirmed this, although it is a good theory. These bits of information are all we have on the pair, but I take it as a strong indication that Cave and Chell were at least close before his passing and GLaDOS took over. During the events of the first Portal game, Ratman also played a role. A few of his dens and scribblings are found around the game as his way of helping Chell survive. We can see from his dens that he has been living off beans and milk, a nice reference to a short story by Isaac Asimov called Escape, where a robot malfunctions and takes over a starship, only allowing the humans to eat beans and milk. Ratman's dens and messages stop just before a part where you get ambushed by sentry turrets. We can assume that this is because he couldn't make it any further than that, as he doesn't have a portal gun of his own. When GLaDOS mentions that the companion cube cannot talk, and if it does you shouldn't believe a word it says, this is a reference to Ratman himself, as in the comic book Lab Rat starring Ratman, he has a best friend companion cube that he talks to, helping him along the way. Next week I hope to tell the story of what happened to Ratman after the events of Portal and how he saved Chell's life without her knowing. I hope you enjoyed the video and come back next Monday for episode 7.